Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to these parts, then you might not know that I test out quite a few foundations throughout the year. I have them sitting all behind me, and these are just the foundations that I tested out this year. And you also might not know that at the end of the year I do like a little wrap up mini review of all the foundations that I tested out. So as you can see, there's a lot to talk about. I talk a lot, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. If you see me looking at my phone throughout the video, that's because I wrote down all the foundations that I tried so that I don't forget any, and some of them I don't have anymore, so it's really just the name and like a clip from the video that I posted on it to show you guys. But the first one was the Morphe Fluidity foundation. You guys remember it's the one that came in 60 different shades. I actually did not test that foundation out on my face, but I did do a video where I swatched all 60 shades on my chest. I didn't actually post a video testing it out on my face because it broke my chest out just doing the swatches. And then I tried the concealer, and I think I had like an immediate breakout to the concealer, and I saw other people saying that the foundation broke them out, so I was just like, you know what, I'll pass on this one. I did the swatches. Hopefully that's helpful enough there. Also, if you saw the swatch video, the swatches were kind of wonky and all over the place, so I was just kind of like, you know, I'm not that interested on this one. I think I'll pass. After that, I tried the Covergirl Full Spectrum Matte Ambition All Day Shine Free Foundation. This is in the shade Deep Neutral 1. I don't remember if this is the shade that I used in that video, but it's what I have in my hands right now. They sent the entire collection, which is why I have multiple shades. I don't believe that I was that impressed with the foundation. If anything, I was more impressed with the powder that was part of that collection that you can also use as like a powder foundation on your face. I think I was just kind of okay on the foundation. People were excited for this because the full spectrum line was supposed to be a line specifically created for women of color. However, some of the like the bronzer, the contour things, people were just kind of like, we're still kind of lacking there. And then I think they got rid of the line. Like, I don't see people talking about it anymore, and I think I saw some people say that they already got rid of it. I'm not sure, but yeah, this was a weird one because it was there. It wasn't really talked about by the brand itself, and then you didn't really hear anything about it after that. So then I tried the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Liquid Foundation. I don't recall getting rid of it, but I can't find it, so I don't have the actual bottle to show you there. But if you guys have seen the foundation stick from Hourglass, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be that in a liquid type. I think I didn't get rid of it, but I wouldn't be surprised if I did get rid of it because I didn't care for the foundation. It was too much for me. Like, you could full on see it on my face. I didn't like how it, I didn't like that foundation. Funny enough, I actually like the foundation stick, but the foundation stick is a foundation more for, you know, normal dry skin. Foundation sticks usually are, because they usually have that normal natural finish, not that much oil control there. For people who have oily skin, I actually like the foundation stick. I didn't like the liquid foundation that I think was supposed to, you know, help out those who have oily skin, but I flat out like didn't like it. This is the Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick in the shade 11.0 Dust. Not gonna lie, I was low-key surprised when they said that they had a shade I could use if you've seen other ranges from Tom Ford, but I saw it. I want to check it out. I think this is like an $80 foundation stick, so I'm not gonna lie. You were gonna have to jump through hoops, Sir Tom, for me to be feeling this foundation stick, but I actually did like this foundation. I feel like this was the year of me testing out foundation sticks, even though I just said that a majority of them end up not wanting to work with me and my oily skin, but I did find some that wanted to. This is one of them. Again, because it is more of that expensive type of foundation, and it is a nice foundation, it's probably one that I would break out for special occasions where I still want to have that, you know, soft glam, a little bit less of a makeup type look going on there, because, you know, you don't want to rush out of this and then have to buy a new $80 foundation every other month. But I did like this foundation. So Laura Mercier came out with a foundation, I believe this year. If they didn't come out with it this year, then I tried it this year, so that's why I'm mentioning it in this video. I don't remember the full name of the foundation. I'll have it pop up here on the screen. I feel like that's a brand where it's kind of hard picking shades because the shades don't really vary that much. Not even on the color of the shade, but the undertones of the shade. I don't feel like they have that much variation in them. So I wasn't here for the shade when I tried it, and then I also wasn't here for the foundation itself when I tried it, and that's they also came out with the what is it, Full Fusion foundation, and I kind of liked that foundation, but I wasn't that big on it. So when they were coming out with this one, I wanted to try it because I was like, all right, maybe this one will be the one that'll be my go-to, and it wasn't. I actually liked the Fusion foundation more than I liked this one. This one just didn't do anything for me. Again, it's just kind of like, all right, you're there on my face. When you've tried as many as I have, like, you have to do something to impress me, and that one didn't do anything. So that's probably also why I don't have it anymore. So I'm sitting here looking at these foundations like, was there a foundation that I actually liked this year? Because I also did not like this one. Actually, that might be a stretch to say like I dislike it. I guess I'm just looking at a lot of them like, you didn't impress me. This is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Hydrating Foundation Stick in Sienna. I was actually really excited to try this when I saw the promo for it, because it's supposed to be a foundation stick that was cooling and hydrating and stuff like that. And then I tried it, and again, it was just kind of like, okay, you know, I don't remember. I think it is one of those products where you can actually feel like some cooling and some hydrating to your face and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you know, it wasn't the best foundation stick for oil control and stuff like that. It wasn't the best as far as just how it worked with my face. So I was, at the end of the video, I was just kind of like, oh, it's nice, you know, if you want to check it out. I don't think you'll dislike it if you try it, but I also don't think it would become one of your favorite foundations if you tried it. So next up was the Mented foundation stick. This is in the shade D30. I'm not sure if this is actually the shade that I wear, because I have multiple shades out of this foundation stick, but this is probably when I started getting into the more, you know, I don't necessarily need a matte foundation. I can start wearing more natural finish, even dewy products, and, you know, just making sure that I skin prep and use the other right products so that I can have that natural finish, you know, skin-like finish that I like for my makeup. Because I don't believe that this is, you know, specifically for oily skin or stuff like that, but it's a foundation stick that I can get to use on my face, and it has a nice finish, and it actually lasts throughout the day on my face. This, I believe in the video I said, was, you know, for those everyday looks. You know, you could easily wear this every day to school, to work, stuff like that. It'll last for those long days. That doesn't sound good. High school hours are like, what, seven hours a day? How long are you high schoolers in school? Let me know in the comments down below. Those work hours, 9 to 5, stuff like that, it'll last throughout the day and it'll look fresh on your face. So I'm all the way here for this Mented foundation stick if you want to check it out. Oh, I'm actually so goofy. I definitely still have the Laura Mercier foundation. It is this Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. This is the one that I said that I just didn't really, you know, feel anything for it, but I still have it if you guys, and because I most likely would have forgotten to insert the picture anyway, so good thing I can actually show you what I was talking about. Okay, this is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Foundation Stick in 285. Nothing to write home about with this foundation stick. I didn't really care for the shade range. And like I said, it was just, let's just move on. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Matte Powder Foundation. This was my go-to for a good minute. She looks light in the pan. Yes, she does. This is in the shade 6N2 Truffle, which I believe is the shade that I wear in the liquid foundation. She looks light in the pan, but that's like across the board. Like that, all of the shades will look light in the pan, but it'll actually match if you get your shade when you put it on your face. This is a very, if you have oily skin, they usually say you should wear a powder foundation because it'll hold up the best on your face throughout the day. I obviously wear more than just powder foundation, but if you are looking for a powder foundation, I would certainly recommend this one. This is a good, just this as a foundation. If you wanted to use this and a liquid, or, you know, mix it up, this and create anything like that, this is a really good foundation. I liked this. This is one of the first that I got, you know, real hyped and used for a good minute this year. The same foundation keeps falling on the floor, and it's like, first of all, I don't even like you, okay, and you're over here causing issues. About this close to throwing you out just for getting on my nerves, okay? Can I get through this video? But the next foundation, I caused a little bit of stir, you know, some issues there. Some people didn't like what I had to say. It was the Pure Love Your Selfie 4-in-1 foundation, and it's not even really the foundation that cause some stir, it's because if you guys remember, this foundation comes in 100 shades, and at the time that I made the video, certain shades weren't available in Ulta. It's usually the darker shades that when you go on Ulta's website, it says it's either not an option there, or it says like online only or stuff like that. But the shades I needed weren't even on Ulta's website, so you had to get it directly from Pure's website, and the shade finder on Pure's website didn't work. And there are 100 shades for you to choose from, so I ended up ordering the wrong shade. In the video, I, you know, like jokingly said, all right, I'm sitting here with the foundation shade that's like 3 times darker than it's supposed to be because your shade finder doesn't work. And that was the point, is just the shade finder didn't work. So I made that video. Pure saw the video, reached out, said they were going to fix their shade finder. You would think everything should be good there, but nah, people were not feeling it because somehow it's entitled and making everything about race, asking a company to have a feature on their website work there. So yeah, I got some interesting comments for a good month there after that video and the follow-up video that I did on this foundation. But as far as the actual foundation goes, I necessarily didn't like it that much because I feel like it was one of those foundations that never really dried down on me. Like, I don't know, I always feel like I looked wet while I was wearing it, and that's not a good look that you want to start off with if you already have oily skin. But I still felt like it was a nice finish foundation. I've seen it look great on other people. It was just one that I didn't really like there, but it really was not as deep as people made it out to be. Good old Uma Beauty launched this year, and while I do kind of like the concealer the best out of everything that I tried there, this is their Weightless Soft Matte Foundation. This is also a nice foundation. Again, one of those everyday foundations. You could wear this anywhere and look nice. I have since, you know, gravitated more towards other foundations, but if you wanted to check this one out specifically, should you? I would say yes, you should. It's a nice one. And grab that concealer if you can. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation in the shade Walnut. I don't believe I liked this foundation, probably because foundations stick. But I feel like when you can't remember, like, that says enough about it. It's one thing if you can remember, like, yes, I liked it, no, I didn't like it. But if you're sitting there like, did I like this? Did I like how this looked on my face? Like, that kind of says all you need to know about it. So, you know, I'll go ahead and insert a picture from me wearing this foundation, and then I'll go ahead and put it down. This is the Smith & Cult Veiled Threat Weightless Micro Blurring Foundation. I didn't like it. One, she was orange on my face, there's that. But two, I feel like she was more for my, you know, normal skin out there, that range. I don't know if I can really say dry, I don't remember that much, but I believe I said that it was probably more for like my normal skin out there. So this is the LA Colors Liquid Makeup in the shade Black Walnut. I actually liked this foundation, and what's funny about that is this costs $1. $1 whole $1. Now, I did mention in the video that it being $1, it may not have the best ingredients, but you never know. It could have ingredients that are perfectly fine. I wouldn't know because the ingredients come on the wrapping of the product that you have to throw away. And I don't think the website says what the ingredients are. I'm not sure, don't quote me. So, you know, like, there's that to think about, but other than that, I feel like it was a good shade match. It wore well throughout the day, and again, it is $1, and that's what's funny to me, is that I can literally sit here and say I liked a $1 foundation. I also have sensitive skin. It did not break me out at all. I can sit here and say that I like a $1 foundation, but I'll still get comments when I don't like things like, you just don't like it because it's affordable. Not everyone can afford, you know, the expensive things that you like. Just because it's not expensive doesn't mean that it's not good. And I really just be sitting here like, I am the last person to say that to. First of all, even if I did have all the money in the world, which I don't, like, that's another thing. Like, I think people think that you have a whole bunch of followers on social media, so that means like you're rich or stuff like that. Definitely not the case there. Even if I did have all the money in the world, like, I'ma still need you to give me my best bang for my buck there. I do all types of videos of like an expensive product versus an inexpensive product, and a lot of the times I end up liking the inexpensive product even more, especially because it's inexpensive. Like, if you can give me the same type of wear and quality as an expensive product, I'm going to like you even more because you're more affordable, especially when it comes time to repurchase products. products. So I'm the last person to come at with that, all right? Relax. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Full Coverage Mattifying Foundation, and the reason people were buzzing about this earlier this year is because Rimmel made this claim that like their shades match 99% of the population out there. And first of all, that is a bold claim, first of all. Second of all, it was like, oh, so who was that 1% of who it doesn't match to? I feel like we all had an idea of who that 1% was, but this was actually a good shade match, and this was actually a good foundation. This is a good drugstore foundation I would recommend, especially for oily skin, especially in the summer, which I believe is when I tried this. It did good with oil control. It still looked good on the face, even though it is a mattifying foundation. And that's nothing against mattifying foundations. It's just, you know, for me, on my oily skin, when I go too mattifying, you know, start looking a little crispy, you know, a little stiff there in the face. But I didn't have that issue with this foundation. I actually really liked it. Still not sure about the whole percentage thing there, but we'll just leave it at that I liked it. So not only did I get into foundation sticks this year, but I also got into CC BB skin tinted type products this year. This is the Thrive Cosmetics Buildable Blur CC cream in Rich Cocoa, and I said that this was a good CC cream for one, people who like products like that, and two, well, they also have shades for deeper complexions. That's usually rare to come across. You know, this year I found a couple that I could recommend to you guys. This is one of them. So it's good for people who like products like that. They do have shades for deeper complexions, but I said that this is, you know, if you're someone who travels frequently and when it comes to packing stuff and stuff like that, like I don't like packing glass foundations. It really depends on the foundations that I travel with. This is a good one if you're traveling and you don't want to bring, you know, like a full coverage. You're going somewhere hot, you want something light or, you know, appropriate for the place that you're going to. This is a good product for that. Even if you're not traveling and you just want like that easy throw on and go type product, this is one right there. So I would definitely recommend this. Next up was the Juvia's Place I Am Magic foundation. I don't actually have the foundation. I know who took it though, and I know you know that I know you took it. I know you know that I know that. Yeah, okay. I don't actually have it, but I did like that foundation. I would recommend it for anyone who has oily skin. It had a nice look on the face. It wears well throughout the day for someone who has oily skin. And they were gonna have shades for your skin tone. I don't think I had the right shade in that video, but I know they have a shade for my skin tone, so that was a good foundation. I just don't have it here with me. Okay, Lottie London, All About That Base Full Coverage Matte Foundation Stick. This is the foundation that kept falling on the floor, and after I do this, I can fall on the floor again. If you guys have not looked that foundation up on Ulta's website, I believe I did the video because it's rated like the worst foundation on Ulta's website. I don't know if I could say it's the worst foundation that I've ever tried, but I could certainly see why it's rated one of the worst foundations on Ulta's website. I didn't like it. I didn't like how it looked on the face. I believe it creased. Oh, I didn't like it. I don't believe that it had a good shade range there. I'm pretty sure at the end of that video I was like, all right, y'all might be onto something. You know, it's probably a good reason to read a good reason to read reviews when you're on these websites, because, you know, sometimes they're right. Okay, this is the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation. After I had tried all the foundations that I just talked about, I felt like I was getting to a point where I was just not impressed with a lot of the things that I was trying, and I couldn't really say at that time that I had like a go-to foundation. Then this foundation came out and Urban Decay restored some faith in the foundation encyclopedia, because this is a good foundation. This is probably one of the better foundations, I'm not gonna say best, but better foundations that launched in 2019. Is this one? Yeah, this one, because at the time that I did that video, I had received an PR from Urban Decay and I didn't get the right shade. But this is in the shade 81NN. If you use me for a shade match and you want to know what shade I wear in this, it's a very good foundation for anyone who has oily skin. It still looks, you know, it's not like a cakey looking foundation on the face, even though it is a little bit more full coverage and it is mattifying on the face. It still looks great on the face. It wears great for people who have oily skin. I don't remember, how big the shade range is, but I believe it's a good shade range, especially compared to some of their other foundations that they have out there. So if you've been thinking, if you wanted to pick this up, I would say do it. Your girl is tired. This is a lot to go through and remember and talk about. Next, I don't remember if I'm reviewing these in order at this point, but this is the Black Radiance Color Effect Foundation Stick. I would definitely recommend this if you do have oily skin and you like foundation sticks, but you're looking for something that's still going to last on your face throughout the day. I think this is a matte foundation stick. That's also something you don't see that much. This is in the shade Espresso. Not sure if this is my shade because this is one of the ones where I received multiple shades and I just picked up the first one that I saw. It's a very good foundation stick. If you like that finish of foundation sticks, you still get that with this, even though it is mattifying. So that's why it's one of the few foundation sticks I liked this year that I liked and I would recommend to you guys. We're gonna put that right next to Mented on the list. This is the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue foundation. This is in the shade 136. This is not the right shade for me. I think I looked a little orange in this one. And I said in the video that I would check out a different shade, but after I did the video, I thought about it and I was just like, girl, are you really going to pick this up again after you reviewed it to the point where you want to go through the process of returning it and then ordering a different shade and, you know, getting that one? And I came to the conclusion that no, I do not. It was a nice foundation, but again, just one of those, it was a nice foundation, you know, like I'll be fine without you. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous foundation. I actually really like this. This comes in, I wear this in the shade 530N. This is like a more expensive version of the drugstore foundation that I use pretty much every day that I really like, that I'm about to talk about very soon. But I really like this foundation. It is a, you know, dewy luminous foundation that still wears really well on my skin, like better than even some mattifying foundations that I've tried before. It wears really well on my skin. I like the shade that I use in this. It works really well with other products because, you know, there is some products where it's like they kind of works best if you use them with other products from the brand. Fenty is one of those brands where Fenty works really well with other Fenty products, but it also works really well with other products as well. Same for ABH. Like ABH usually works really well, definitely really well with other ABH products, but it plays nice with other company products as well. So I would definitely recommend this if you guys were thinking of checking this foundation out. Anything else? No, I think that's it. So after that, I tried the Pat McGrath foundation system. I don't have the foundation because I bought the entire system, which comes with the primer, the foundation, and the powder. And if you guys saw that video, really the only thing that I was, I guess, hype about out of that system was the powder. I just thought the foundation was okay. And I don't think I really liked the primer there. I liked the powder again, but the way the system worked when you buy it off Pat's website is they pick a powder shade based off of, you know, what the foundation shade that you picked. And the one that they picked for me was like too red for my skin tone. So I was like, this is $150 and you only like 1/3 of the things that come in it, and it's not even like a shade that's an exact match for you for that price. I was like, so you could just return this and then just buy the powder separately on its own. So that's what I did. That's why I don't have the foundation anymore. Again, the foundation was a nice foundation. I could see it being a foundation that especially makeup artists use on clients for, you know, weddings, red carpets, any reason that you have a makeup client. Like I could see it being one of those type of foundations, but it just didn't, you know, do anything for me to the point where I was just like, yes, this was a completely worth it purchase for me. So that's why I don't have it anymore. And y'all know I don't really like returning things to the store, but in that at that moment I was like, you know what, we're gonna be smart with money here and really just buy the one thing that you actually liked out of the system. So this is the Milk Makeup Flex Foundation in Warm Deep, another foundation stick that we can add to the list of foundation sticks that I have found to work with my oily skin. I don't recall if it's an exact, you know, matte foundation stick, but look, she was matte on my face, all right? Matte enough to where it had good wear throughout the day, even though I do have oily skin, and it looked really good on the skin as well. If you guys know Milk Makeup, they have that whole your skin but better type of approach to their brand. aesthetic, so it still has like that natural finish, even though like it still has good coverage and wears well on someone who has oily skin. I was hyped for this when they announced it. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation in the shade 440. This is what I have on my face today. I was hyped because at this point I was again moving more towards hydrating natural finish foundations, and I'm one of the people who actually really liked the original Pro Filter. You know, it is a more matte foundation. People who have oily skin, people who had dry skin when this was coming out were like, yes, I'm here for it. I hope it's the other one, but just in a hydrating type of formula. And I feel like it pretty much is. I like both foundations. I can see why people might not like the other one. I like both foundations. I really do feel like it's a version of that one, but just in a hydrating type of formula there. It looks good on the face just like the other one. I really don't see much of a difference between the two. Let me know if you would like a video where I test out the hydrating on one side and the soft matte on the other. I think I was supposed to do that, or I think I was supposed to compare this to ABH Luminous. I know I was supposed to do one of those and I never got around to it. So let me know if you want that in the comments down below. But yes, I like this foundation, and I picked it up again today. And you ever not try something that you know you like and then you try it again and you're just kind of like, oh, why did I ignore you? Okay. Alrighty then, foundation of the year in my book is the NYX Born to Glow foundation. Listen, 90% of the videos I have filmed since I did a video on this is me wearing this foundation. It's my go-to foundation. It's $10. All right, I'm gonna say that every time I talk about it because it's $10 and it's really the best foundation that I've tried this year. Best shade match, best wear. I've worn it super dewy. I've worn it a little bit more soft matte there. Either way, it still lasted great on my face throughout the day. It comes in 45 shades, I believe. Listen, I'm all the way here for this. No one who's told me that they tried this foundation after me telling them to go try this foundation complained about it. Everyone looked great in any pictures that they've tagged me in wearing this foundation after watching that review. So I'm gonna recommend this until the wheels fall off. Oh my bad, and this is in the shade Cocoa. Believe Beauty, this is their skin finish foundation. This is the brand from Dollar General that I was talking about before. People were like, you don't like it because it's available at Dollar General and you know, you don't want to give it a chance because it's more affordable. And I was like, nah, I just didn't like it. Mind you, the brand themselves sent me the products in that video, and it's like, I can't review what I don't have, you know, like I can only try what it is that they sent, and they sent it to me. So if they know that they have products that are more flattering to deeper complexions and they sent me ones that are not, like that's not, it's one thing if I buy it or if I, you know, order the products and they're clearly not flattering for deeper skin tones and then complain about it. But it's like, I didn't pick it, like they sent it to me. So how, and I'm not talking about the actual foundation. I did a whole video testing out all the products that they sent. And I think in the video I said like, you know, like the blush was not flattering or whatever wasn't flattering in the video. And they were like, they have other options. And I was like, okay, but the brand didn't know that. Like the brand saw what I look like and they chose to send products that were not flattering when they had other options. So whose fault is that? It's not mine there. But I don't really remember much about the foundation. So I already mentioned before how that says a lot if you don't remember much about the product. This is the Zoeva Authentic Skin Natural Luminous foundation. If you guys didn't see the video, I compared it to the ABH foundation. Now these are two foundations that are pretty much in the same price range. But for any reason, if you like one brand and you don't like the other brand or anything like that, you know, you don't want to support a brand for a specific reason, these are pretty much the same foundation, from packaging to the names of the foundation to how the foundations wear. If you saw the video, actually I think Zoeva might have done a little bit better than ABH in that video, but these are literally the same foundation in just two different brands. So like I said, if for any reason you want to support one brand over the other, yes, you believe it or not, there are some people who might not want to buy Anastasia Beverly Hills, but you still like what everyone had to say about the foundation, there is an option in the other one. if you don't like Zoeva, but you like people had to say about this, then you can get it in this foundation. Both foundations were good though. This is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation, oil-free. I didn't like this foundation. It also has SPF in it, and sometimes when you start mixing SPF, especially in foundations, it starts giving you that cast on your face, and I didn't care for it at the end of the day. It wasn't the most, you know, like oil controlling or anything like that. I didn't like how it looked on the face. I felt, you know, when your makeup starts looking a little grainy on your face, I felt like that's how it looked, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass on this foundation. Okay, Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. This is in the shade 15 Neutral. I don't believe this was my shade. I don't remember. But this was just an okay foundation to me. Not one that I could see myself, you know, picking up regularly or really ever again there. But, you know, nice enough that I was like, if you like that brand and you want to check it out, like, sure, you could. But, you know, she didn't really do anything for me when I tested it out. Okay, this is the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation in the shade 4.40. I waited like a whole year and a half, 2 years after all the controversy with this foundation, just for me to really not be that impressed and think that it was just an okay foundation. I wasn't missing much not testing it out throughout that time. I won't be missing much not really using it moving forward, so it was just alright. After that, I tried the Beauty Bakery Instabake Aqua Glass Foundation, which is supposed to be, you know, like a dewy glass, that kind of K-beauty glass skin type product, but actually ended up being like the other products that they have, which are usually very full coverage, kind of drying on the face. Like, my face was creasing by the end of the day. I didn't like this foundation. Like I said in that video, from the description of what it's supposed to be to how it actually wore throughout the day, it just didn't add up. So I was just kind of like, all right. We can move a little quickly through these last few because these are the ones that I did during 12 Days Foundation Hunt that I just uploaded, so it's probably still fresh in your mind. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer in Deep Dark 22N. I really liked this. This could also easily become another everyday product, especially since even though it is a tinted, why do I want to keep saying tinted moisturizer, it still has pretty good coverage in the product. They have shades for a tinted moisturizer. I think this comes in like, I don't know, 20 something shades. They have shades for a tinted moisturizer, and it just really wore well throughout the day. Next up after that was the Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage Foundation in the shade 4.3 Deep Neutral Undertone. Again, I really liked this foundation. Even though it is a full coverage foundation, it looks really nice and natural on the face. You can wear this for those days where you're not trying to do the most, but you can also, you know, do the most up out of it and still have a nice natural look to your face. So I also really liked this foundation as well. Next is the Florence by Mills Like a I am losing my voice in this video, but we're almost at the finish line there. This is the Florence by Mills Like a Light Skin Tint in the shade D190. I really like this. Again, it's a skin tint that's got shade options. It was a good shade match. It wore well throughout the day. This is by the actress Millie Bobby Brown. Yes, and she caught some flack because, you know, she is a 14 or 15-year-old, and people were like, I'm not taking advice from a 14-year-old on skincare. How much can she really be, you know, invested in the company being that age? And she is like a full-time actress, stuff like that. But like I said in the video, it very well could just not be you're not the demographic that they're going for, you know. Teenagers are starting to care more and more about skincare at a younger age, so like, yeah, it's by a teenager, probably for teenagers there, but I'm not close to being a teenager anymore, and, you know, I still found a product that I liked, so, you know, maybe give it a chance if you see anything that you were interested in, but, you know, you're kind of like, I don't know about it because this worked out really well for me. Okay, this is the Pure Flesh Foundation in the shade Pecan Flesh. Really has a way of naming their products. Like, the first foundation stick is like firm, thick flesh foundation stick. Like, all right, doing a lot there. I didn't really care for this foundation. It was just one of those, I couldn't even really say like, okay, like you wore nice, whatever, because I feel like I was pretty oily when I came back in the day there, but like, you know, it was decent. there. That's the best I could say about the foundation. It was decent there, and I'm pretty sure in the video, like, my face kind of read like, I don't really care, but I'm trying to make it through this video being nice here, so that's what I'm gonna say in this one as well. Like, yo, she was nice. This is the MAC Studio Fix Soft Matte Foundation Stick in NW47. I'm here for it. I was here for the shade. I was here for how it wore. It was long lasting. My oil did well with this foundation stick throughout the day. And I believe I said in that video, like, MAC really, you know, this is one of the recent products that they've come out with where I was just like, all right, MAC was like, we're still here. You know, don't forget about us. We're still dropping products that you'd be glad to say that you picked it up, and it's from MAC Cosmetics. So all right, MAC Cosmetics. All right, I've got the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer in 5W1 Tan. Didn't like it. Too much of a tinted moisturizer for me. Like, I get it, what a tinted moisturizer is supposed to be, but like, I still want some coverage in there. Okay guys, so because my SD card hates me, it did not pick up the rest of the footage for the rest of the video, and I only had 4 more foundations. We're already 30 something minutes deep into this video, and I don't want to trash all that footage just so I can refilm over 4 foundations. So I figured I would just quickly do the little 4 mini reviews and throw up some pictures on the screen so you have something to look at while I'm talking. First would be the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Foundation. I loved this foundation. It was a great shade match. It lasted great on my face throughout the day, even though it was a, you know, more hydrating, natural finish foundation. If you have dry skin, I feel like you would like this more than the Conceal and Define foundation, because that one seemed more for oily skin, that was also a great foundation if you have oily skin, but I just feel like dry skin would probably like this one a little bit better. Now for the Lip Bar foundation, the only thing I didn't like was the brush that's attached to it. I feel like it pushed out more product than necessary, so I would just use a regular foundation brush when using this one. But other than that, I really like this foundation. I did end up getting the wrong shade in this, but this is definitely one of those foundations where I would go through the process of getting the correct shade, because it wore really well throughout the day and it looks really nice on the face. So hopefully you guys have seen the video where I tried the Lemare foundation. This was one of those you kind of low-key but high-key didn't want it to work, because it is a $120 foundation. However, it did everything that the description said it was going to do. It's a really nice foundation. I mentioned in that video that I would probably save this for special occasions or special events, or just those, you know, those days, those moments where you really want to look nice there. One, as a way to, you know, preserve it there so you don't have to end up buying bottles back to back, but also because just the finish that it gives, it's that type of finish where you just want to look extra nice that day. So that's how I feel about that foundation. And the last foundation I tried in 2019 was the Kevyn Aucoin Foundation Balm. I wasn't surprised by how that foundation played out. It was very on brand for that brand. Creamy foundation, full coverage. It still had a nice finish on the face, but I do have oily skin. So by the end of the day, I was pretty oily with that foundation, but it was okay foundation. I didn't dislike it, but you know, it wasn't anything that I would write home about. All right, y'all, and that is it. I hate that this is how this video is ending, but I also did give you guys my top 5 foundations for 2019. First, of course, would be the NYX Born to Glow foundation. Second would be the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation. Third is the Anastasia Luminous foundation. Fourth was the Estee Lauder Double Wear Powder Foundation. And fifth, of course, now is when I can't remember what I said in the video. My 5th top foundation of 2019 was, the Lemare foundation. Yeah, I gotta throw it in there, y'all. I know, but it was good and it did what it said it was going to do. So I hope all the videos that I post throughout the year and this video, the little mini recaps, really helps you guys, you know, when it comes time to pick foundations. I try to give as much information as I can when doing these reviews. You guys seem to like these type of videos the most, and these are actually some of the videos I like doing the most on my channel. So yeah, I hope it helps. I hope you guys like it. I've already got quite a few planned for 2020, and yeah, I'll go ahead and wrap up the video. So make sure to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.